I'll do what makes sense to me in it. Like if that's a no entry sign, but I can walk through it just to get to my destination, I'm walking through it. Like I don't care what the sign says. From a young age, I've just wanted to get rich. And I would probably say that's probably why I got into football in the first place. Harry Redknapp was watching the training session that day.
Wow.
So I was like, going extra ham. Like my knee felt a bit weird when I was playing. I carried on, and then literally I got home. I remember I was just literally sitting there playing PlayStation, and then I went to get up, and then I couldn't move my leg, literally, because I was broken by it. Do you know what I mean? When you work so hard for something for such a long period of time, and then it's just like, spent what little money I had on getting the stock and the samples. It's so expensive, man. Like you would even realize.
How much was you putting onto it?
Like it cost $5,000 just to get a sample. I don't mind spending $100,000. Making 95. The biggest campaign that made the greatest impact was the TFL campaign that I had in 2021, and they were quoting me like $75,000 right, for This Ain't Right. He's an extremely talented rapper. He should not be in there. As soon as he comes out, we're doing this.
With Central Cee, Stormzy and that, and Dave.
Honestly, I feel like he's a better rapper than them.
So someone, I guess, wanted to set up a product business today in 2023 and wanted to grow it to about like 6-7 figures. What would your advice to them be?
Don't.
You're not defined by where you come from.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big message that I always want to tell people. Like
you have to be able to be uncomfortable. Like be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
When you grow up in ends, you don't realise it when you're confident, but you have an audacity to do things that ordinarily most people wouldn't be willing to do.
Welcome back to the Takeover Experience. We have a special guest in the building. Adam, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good. Very good.
How's your day been? You were telling me you had a busy day offline as well.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's just early morning, gym. Today at work, like I still work obviously, and it was a pretty stressful day today. It's quite busy in the markets.
Why has it been more stressful today than any other day for you?
Inflation is obviously a massive topic with the economy right now, and the US had inflation data today. So it's just generally when there's important data announcements out, then markets are a bit more volatile and there's a lot more things going on. So that's usually when it's busier.
It's so interesting because I feel like so I was telling you offline that like I also invest and I become more interested in investing over the years, and I feel like every other week there's some kind of data or information coming out. Is it that frequent that it comes out, or is it just like quarterly?
No. Like so you usually have at least one piece of important financial data out each week. Okay. But like so the Bank of England, they get together more or less every month. Okay. And then they'll make an interest rate decision. And usually it doesn't make any difference. Like we're coming from a period of low interest rates, right? So every time there's been an MPC meeting, the Monetary Policy Committee, they just say, unchanged, because, we'll just have flat interest rates for ages. But obviously now, because inflation is going out of control, central banks all over the world are trying to raise interest rates to lower inflation, because that is like it's a blunt instrument to use, but it's the main tool that usually works to get inflation back down. Okay. So now every month the meetings are quite interesting because everyone's thinking, okay, are they going to raise or they're not going to raise? Yeah. How much are they going to raise by if they do raise? And then obviously that speculation leads to, trading opportunities. So that's why things are a lot busier around announcements. But then obviously there's a lot of different economic data that comes out each week. So, if we're trying to focus on the interest rate decisions, then you'd want to be looking at, like retail sales data just to see if people are still spending, consumer spending, manufacturing data. All these things are kind of like indicators to see what the central bank might do and how much they're going to raise by, or if they do raise. So like in the last meeting, the MPC, they raised interest rates by 0.5%. Okay. Which is quite big. Yeah. Everyone was thinking they was going to do it by 0.25. The market consensus was 0.25, but then they did half, which shook things up because people have their like trading positions sort of focused on where I'm expecting it to be here, and their positions will be, positioned that way. But then if they do something that's out of what everyone's expecting, then
everybody starts going crazy.
Exactly, because everyone's P&L is all over the place.
It's like that meme. It's like that GIF that you see of people running in like some kind of Wall Street building, going crazy, throwing their papers up.
Yeah.
That's mad. The watchers and listeners will understand this. So you've been in it for like 10 years. Has this been the most, like, I guess obviously like there was like the financial crisis in 2008. Has this been like the most like, what would I say, magnifying glass that's been on it? Like everybody's like really keen to know what's going on. Like all the news outlets are keep on reporting on, inflation is this, interest rates this. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. It's
because we're going through this period post-COVID of high inflation.
Okay.
So with all of the stimulus that was, printed during COVID, all the free cash that was being given out, obviously it's going to be inflationary. And just the sheer amount of money that was pumped into the system during those years, it's obviously no wonder why inflation is where it is.
Okay.
So now obviously everyone's trying to fix it because you can't live in a high inflation environment.
Yeah.
So that's why there's so much focus.
Okay.
But I'd say throughout my career, obviously I was a bit late for the 2008 stuff.
Yeah.
And unfortunately too late for that because it's very lucrative.
Yeah. I mean, look, we had 2020.
Different kind of time that was.
Yeah.
I was working in our disaster recovery site. Basically. So obviously as soon as everybody got sent home, we stayed in our offices and we were given like key worker badges basically. Which was quite sick because I could drive to work and park literally right outside the office on double yellows and just have like a little letter on my dashboard to say why. But yeah, I spent like 4 months in just like a box room in Hertfordshire.
That's insane. Yeah. That's insane. Gosh. Okay, so who is Adam?
Who am I? It's an interesting question. Where do I start really? I'm just like anyone else, to be honest. Love music, love making money, love football. Obviously, family, friends are important to me. Yeah.
That's you. That's Adam.
That's me, yeah.
That's Adam.
That literally sums me up. Yeah.
Love that.
And finance. But I hate to be defined by finance, to be honest, because I don't really fit the stereotype. Like even like at work, I'm not really the same as everybody else, or pretty unique in that sense. So yeah, I don't really feel like I belong in that industry.
Why do you say that? What do you feel makes you unique?
I just have more of a creative personality. I like to be creative. I like to, like doing things creative is where I'm happiest. So like starting up my business is just like an extension of my creativity. Do you know what I mean? And then like
I hear it.
And then like going into music, being in the studio, that is literally where my happy place. Like,
okay.
If I could, I'd spend every day in the studio. Do you know what I mean?
Making music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just making music, making beats.
Okay. Do you still do that now? Make music?
I make beats, but obviously I started a record label. It's like a branch of the BeardGang brand, basically, BGM Records.
Okay, yeah, okay. You know what? We're gonna talk about that, because I've got a question around that. Okay, we'll get there. BGM Records, I love that. Okay, let's talk about your story. Where are your parents from?
Jamaica.
Family's
from Jamaica.
Were you born there? Here?
No, I was born here.
Grew up here. Okay. Whereabouts did you grow up in?
So I was born in Newham Hospital. My upbringing is pretty mixed, to be honest. Because obviously my parents split when I was baby, basically. My mum lived east, so she lived in like Walthamstow and then moved more towards Woodford areas. But my dad's always been in Tottenham. But I spent my time mixed. I was with like my mum in the weekdays, dad's at the weekends. So for me, like my childhood growing up, and all of my like friends were in Tottenham, because obviously that's where I'm spending my free time. During the week, it's just like school, home. Do you know what I mean? So all my friends were in Tottenham growing up. Didn't really do or see much of my friends, like my school friends, throughout my school to school time. But then my mum didn't want me to go to school in Tottenham.
Was it bad then?
And she was living.
Or did she think it was bad then?
She was living in Walthamstow at the time.
She was living in Walthamstow.
So I couldn't even get into the catchment. But my nan basically lived in Woodford, and they just basically told the schools that I lived with my nan, convinced them that I lived there to get into the school in the catchment area, which is a nice school in Chigwell. So it's a massive contrast to going to school in Tottenham. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was good because I had a very contrast upbringing. So it's like, you know, I'm in Essex with a lot of these privileged kids during the week, and then I'll go back to the estate and Tottenham at the weekend. So I got to see both sides of the coin from very young. Do you know what I mean? I got to see like what it's like, people that have kids that don't have, you know.
Yeah. Do you feel like that helped to shape
you? Massively. Because I think for me, it just gave me that ability to be able to be comfortable in both kind of environments and settings. You know what I mean? Like I'm comfortable in a room full of white guys, Cockney guys, posh guys, whatever. Do you know what I mean? But then I'm comfortable around them as well. And yeah, it's, you know, and it helps with my job because a lot of it's to do with like networking and, you know, conducting client meetings, you know, and you have to be able to conduct yourself in certain ways and kind of mirror the person you're with and go off their vibe. But, you know, I've only been able to do that through being in so many different environments. Yeah. You know?
Mad. I love that. What were you like in school? And I guess what was your favorite subject at school at the time?
School. Do you know what's funny? It's like in school, I was always smart in school, always in the top sets, but I just didn't really like. I just don't like authority. So
interesting. Okay.
For me, it was just like I was smart, do my work, but teachers can't chat to me. No one can chat to me. Like I'm wearing trainers and what? Like I don't, because I'm just that way inclined. I don't abide by rules. Like for me, it's just all constructs that are made up by society. It's like I'll do what makes sense to me in it. Like if that's a no entry sign, but I can walk through it just to get to my destination, I'm walking through it. Like I don't care what the sign says because it's just made up. Do you know what I mean? So, and schools like that, do you know what I mean? People at school, they just set rules for no reason, you know, like, why can't I wear black trainers? They look the same as my man wear his shoes.
It's a good point.
Like, what's the difference?
A good point, it is a good point that you have to challenge. What is
like, how is it affecting my learning?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Doesn't, right?
That was a battle. And then as well, the entrepreneurial side in me came out during school. So, yeah, I was that kid in year 7 selling sweets in the playground. Okay. You know, so I used to get in trouble all the time because of that. But that was calm because my parents were in on it. So
yeah, they were in on the.
Like, I mean, my dad, I can't remember who took me to the shops first, but like my parents were driving me to like Costco to do wholesale.
Yeah.
You know.
So they're encouraging it. To be honest, I hear that. I'd encourage that
like,
too.
For an 11-year-old, I was making like £20 a day. I was balling out.
Yeah,
you know,
you are.
My pockets.
I wasn't even getting £5 a week.
At the end of like lunchtime, my pockets were heavy. Just bare coins. It was, and it's mad because it instilled something in me from early. Because days where I don't know, it was just a quiet morning or a quiet lunchtime, where I've still got sweets left over at lunchtime, I'll be fuming. I'm like, why have I not shifted my stock? Or if my pockets aren't heavy enough by the end of the first break, I'm just sitting in class, just vexed.
Yeah.
You know, so
wow.
That real hustle, that burning hustle, desire that's been there from early.
Where did that come from though? That desire to, because not every kid wants to, a lot of kids want to make, like, have money.
Do you know what it is? Just from a young age, I've just wanted to get rich. And I would probably say that's probably why I got into football in the first place. It's because I just saw it as like the best way to become a millionaire was to be a footballer, and probably like the quickest way. Like you're going to be a millionaire at 21 as a footballer. So yeah, that's pretty much why I went into football in the first place.
Why do you want to become a millionaire though? Like why? What was the drive to want to?
Oh, do you know what it is? Even from young, it's always been like my drive was always been to look after my family.
Okay.
So, and obviously now the main reason why I do everything that I'm doing is just so that I can make sure that everybody in my family are good. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't want anyone in my family to even have to worry about money.
Yeah.
Like, you know, close and, you know, relatively extended. But you can only do that if you're wealthy, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do. I want to build some wealth and let that spread in the family.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because it only takes one person. And, you know, if I do it, I could then help someone else in my family with an opportunity. They could then do it. And then, do you know what I mean? And it just goes on and on and on and on. Yeah. Next thing you know, your whole like lineage is patterned.
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
So that's what drives me, because I could easily just not put myself through all the stress that I do with running businesses and just focus on my career and work, because I've been earning good money throughout my career. And from a young age, I could just do that and live comfortably, thinking about myself.
Yeah.
You know, I've been living comfortably but unsatisfied, because I feel like I can, do a lot more to help.
I love that. All right, cool. So, okay, so school happened. You said that you didn't like authority, but like, when, I guess, did you end school on a high? Like, did you get lots of GCSEs at the time? Not really.
But I loved school life. Yeah. School life was lit for me. Yeah. Playing in the school football team. And I was really blessed as well, because the one thing that was able to keep me grounded, being in an all-white school, was the fact that for some reason, and I don't know why, but like my core friends, I've been friends with them from primary school. So it just so happened that the little black community that was in Woodford at the time, they all seemed to have kids at the same age, same time. So I had like a good group of 5 or 6 other black boys in my year group.
In your school?
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, even though it was mostly all white school.
So from primary school, I got 3, and then obviously extended in secondary school.
Yeah.
And there was probably like a good 7 or 8 of us.
Okay.
In my year. But then like in the other year groups, there'll be like 1 or 2.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just mad. Okay. It was just abnormal for my, I don't know how it happened like that, but it was a blessing, because obviously we were able just to keep each other grounded, There were some kids in the other years that you could just see they were just identity crisis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mashing up their hair permanent so they can do a comb over. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
Oh man, yeah. Oh,
do you know what I mean? Slick back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, the black hair ain't for that, man. Ain't for that. You comb it, that's it, man. We ain't doing no permanent or nothing like that. Nah. Oh man, did you? So you talked about football, right? So you did. How long did you end up doing football for? And I guess what level do you get to?
Played up until 16.
Okay.
Yeah, 16. Had experience at academies as well. Barnet and Tottenham. And then Tottenham was the last one that was at 16. And then like trialed for a few others after that. But I mashed it up. It's going to sound cliche, but I done my knee in.
I always wonder, how do people do their knee in? What do they do?
I tore my ligaments in my knee, right? And I remember it.
From an actual play.
I literally remember it like it was yesterday, bro. Like, it was so fucked, because Harry Redknapp was watching the training session that day.
Wow.
So I was like going extra ham. And I remember it happening. My studs got caught in the grass. I turned, but like, it's just, and the thing is, it's not like big move. It's just such a slight movement, but you don't even realize it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like that little jerk, and then I didn't notice it. Like, my knee felt a bit weird when I was playing. I carried on, and then literally I got home, and I remember I was just literally sitting there playing PlayStation, and my knee was bent, I think, and then I went to get up, and then literally I couldn't move my leg. Couldn't move it. So I was literally in the physio room, and like, I couldn't train. I was just literally going to training just to go in the gym and do physio for about 6-7 months. And then it came to like this time where they were giving out scholarships and whatnot. Didn't get one. So obviously, like, by the time I got playing again, I was just like not even the same. I was just like, my confidence. Obviously, when you haven't played for a long time, you're not as confident. Out of the rhythm, fitness wasn't the same. As well as that, I think psychologically, I was then afraid to get hurt again.
Okay.
Right? So I weren't going into tackles and all that kind of stuff. When tried out a few other places after that, like Watford, Colchester, Orient, but just couldn't land anything. So then at that point, I was just like, you know what? Like, fuck football. Hate it. Didn't even, like, literally, because I was broken by it. Do you know what I mean? When you work so hard for something for such a long period of time, and then it's just like, then I went to sixth form and then just dropped football out for a while.
Gosh. And that was it. Done. Football career done. That's the thing about football. It's so hard, and I feel like it's such thin margin. Something like that could happen, but I feel like you need, I don't know, like, if you don't have that, I'm not talking about like family support, like in terms of football support. They don't even care. They're like, look, you make it or you don't make it. That's it for them.
To be fair, my mum was like that. She obviously was just more trying to hammer into me, like focus on school and stuff.
Yeah.
But throughout my childhood, my dad was my coach. You know, so he coached like all the Sunday league teams that I played for. And yeah, we was like so actively involved in that side, driving up and down. So yeah, it was like a massive blow for him as well. And I felt like I let him down. So that's pretty much why I just was like, yeah, fuck football.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, look, sometimes, right, like you find other avenues to do. Oh, yeah, it's not the only one, right?
It's like making it in football is such a small percentage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and even when you think you've made it, you still haven't. And football's so harsh, yeah, because they'll rob you of like those early years in your life where you could like put energy elsewhere and it could set you up for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But then they'll just like, you know, have you in the system. And then, you know, if you're just not good enough, discarded. Yeah. And then now you're just there as like a 24-year-old, 25-year-old. You know, you've had like, because it happens, bro. Like in the team that I played in at Tottenham, one player made it to the Prem. Like actually played. His name's Kevin Stewart. He played for Liverpool actually. But even for him, like he's had injuries. I think he's playing in the Championship now. But you think like, when you're at Tottenham and you're young and you just getting sold that dream, you just think like, I'm going to make it to the first team, or if not, I'll at least be playing Prem with, you know what I mean? But it's such a small percentage that even make it to the Prem. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's tough, man.
It's crazy. And a lot of them, so like, you know, you just imagine this, you get a scholarship, boom, cool. By that point, you think you're the man, you know what I mean? Get a pro contract, that's it, job done. You know what I mean?
Your head is turning.
Done, right? Yeah. So, but the clubs offer like 1 year pro, 2 year pro, cool. But after those 2 years are up, it's like they'll send you out on loan, If you impress on loan, they'll keep you for longer, etc., etc. But then for the majority of guys, once their 2 year pro is done, they're out.
They're probably blowing the money on crazy stuff too.
But then, cool, they'll go and sign for maybe a League One side at that point. Do you know what I mean? If they do well, they can work their way back up. Majority of the time, they'll play League One, drop down to League Two.
You got to really love it
and then at the league, majority of times, conference.
That's crazy.
A lot of guys.
Yeah.
It's peak, man.
Yeah, it's really peak.
And even playing in football in the lower leagues is not even as like, it's not as secure as playing, you know, Premiership and for the most part Championship.
Yeah.
It's not the same level of like glamour and security because all it takes is like one injury and then...
Yeah, and then that's it, you're done. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. So, okay, so did you end up going to university?
No.
Or doing something else?
Yeah, so basically, when I left sixth form, I was going to go to uni and I was going to go and do post-production at university. I had offers at Ravensbourne and I think Southampton. So I was going to go to either one of those two. But then someone just spoke to me about broking. Like, I don't know who it was, or I heard someone talking about it in the common room or something. But they were talking about this website called juniorbroker.com. And so I went on it that evening and then literally it was just all like job ads saying like, you know, start tomorrow, you earn 100 grand, 200 grand in your first year. Sure. Rolex watches, holidays, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's like just nonsense. But obviously, 17-year-old kid just like, what? Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
100K.
What?
Right now.
What going to uni for? So I deferred my placements and then went into it. But little did I know, like it wasn't what I'm like anything like what I'm doing now. It was just more like just telesales. But you know, you're trying to shift dodgy investments basically. And a lot of these places popped up in the city, like between like I think it was like 2000 and 2012. There's like they had it off because it was like. It started up. It's all based on like Wolf of Wall Street, that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? There was a period where all that kind of thing happened, but like people weren't really too aware of it.
Okay.
So a lot of people
regulations and all this stuff came in.
A lot of people were getting duped so easily, and then people were making a lot of money out of it. Like the company I worked for, the guy that ran it was 25, and he had 15 guys, 20 guys working there.
Wow.
And you know what I mean, the like. His friends, basically, the older guys that were working there. I mean, and they were probably, I say older, they were like 23, 24. I was like 17, 18. But even they were making mad peas. I remember like coming into the office with Taylor, just like Taylor in a suit, $2,000, bang, just spending mad,
spending crazy money.
It's crazy.
The culture must have been wild too.
But it's because like you know, any job that says you can keep 10% commission of what you bring in, you know that something's wrong. Do you know what I mean? So it's like anything you brought in, you got to keep like 10%. The senior guys kept 20%. Like, hold on a minute, how does that even make sense? Because it's just, you know, they were buying investments really cheap and then just selling them expensive, basically.
Selling it to the people that you were bringing in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. But so was it kind of like kind of scamming people?
Yeah, it's like carbon credits.
Okay.
So I don't even know if they even actually bought the credits. Do you know what I mean? They said they did, but you know,
that's wild.
The credits were probably worth like 50 cents or 30 cents on the exchange because they're tradable. They're actually tradable on the exchanges on the ECX. So they were trading at like 30 cents, and I remember when we were selling them for like £10, £15.
Okay. Wow.
Per credit, that's a ridiculous markup.
To people that didn't know better.
They had no idea. Yeah.
Wow.
And obviously as a 17-year-old kid, I had no idea either. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got sold a dream. Yeah. Like everyone else. I was only like, as a few months went on and I started to actually like do a bit of research into what's going on and the actual jobs that I wanted to get involved in the city. And then I found out like, oh, this is what the spot price means. So this is the actual true value of what we're selling. Oh shit. Oh god. Like, okay, let me get out of here.
Oh damn. Before you get caught up in some madness.
Crazy.
You want to go legit and then somebody's trying to pull you back. That's crazy.
So then by that point I'd figured out kind of where I needed to go. Then I moved from that company to stockbrokers, but this again was more like, it was just like another telesales role. But instead of shifting dodgy investments, it was still pretty dodgy, to be honest, but it was regulated at least. Okay. Basically it's like you call people up, offer them like it's people that you know they have like an IG or a spread betting account or something like that. Do you know what I mean? You know they're interested in spread betting, so you call them up and say, oh, do you need advice? And then you have like the guys that were the brokers, you just pass the person on to them and then they'll give them trading tips and execute it for them as well. But even that model was stupid because like, again, they were never trying to make anyone money. Like if the client made money, it was great. But if the broker's getting paid commission when you open the trade and commission when he closes the trade, so his incentive is to open and close as many trades as possible.
That's so messed up.
Now, obviously, if you keep money in the account and you make your money, you're going to keep opening and closing more trades. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of these guys were fucking idiots and they were just like burning through people's money. Guy put $5,000 on, he's in a week gone. Like,
seriously?
Yeah, you should do this, do that, do this, do that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's fucked. But at least those guys, they had their eyes open. Yeah. I mean, they know the risk. They know what
they
they're getting into. That. They're saying yes to every trade. So, it's their own greed. That's their own downfall. I mean, they deserve losing their peas as well.
Most people are greedy though when it comes to
their own greed. It's taking random stock tips, it's mad. But then even that, so I did that for a few months as well. Yeah. But then I was just like, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to spend my time just cold calling people. So I did a lot of research into dealer broking. So I wanted to get involved in the institutional side of things. Yeah. And that's when I discovered, okay, that's the lane I want to get into. And it's very niche. There are only like 5 or 6 companies that actually do what we do. So I just kept sending my CV off to all of them, basically. Yeah. And I just sent my CV off to them like every week for about 6 months.
Swear down.
6 companies, yeah.
Every week? Every Monday. That's crazy.
Every Monday. Every single Monday. It was like a routine.
Until somebody answered.
I'd get into work, sending CVs every Monday. And then I got one answer. It's from one of the biggest firms. And I had like an interview there, 2 interviews, and I spent a day on the desk. Didn't get that job. It's like, cool. And then I think a few weeks later, got another call back from another firm and had 2 interviews there and like an aptitude test. And then, got the job.
Okay.
That was
wow.
Yeah.
And have you been at the same place ever since?
No, so I was at that firm for a year and then moved to the firm I'm at now.
Okay,
and I've been at that firm for 9 years. So
okay, cool.
10 years.
And did you start like trading straight away when you got into it?
I joined their graduate program.
Okay.
But a part of their like graduate trainee program, they have like a mixture of like non-grads just to spice things up a bit.
Yeah,
because you need to have a mixture of like personality types. In this industry, you can't have everybody that have gone to the same university. Or do you know what I mean? You need to have people that have different things about them. So yeah, it started off, but it's proper haze. It was like hazing, like old school hazing. You know what I mean? Like on things like my first or second day, they were like, right, go to the pub, see how many pints you can drink. Cool, drink 5 pints, go back to the office. Now you got to try and like book our trade tickets.
Really? So what? Like that's that punishment, man.
It's just that they want to see if you can handle it. But
handle what?
Amusement. But and as well, it's like a lot of things. Like, so obviously you got to get like everyone's breakfast and lunch in the morning.
Seriously, that's they make you do that.
Yeah. And I remember they try and test you, like improve your memory basically. So because in this job you need good memory. So they'll say, okay, take everyone's lunch order, you're not allowed to write it down.
This sounds ridiculous, man. And demeaning a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, being a junior or a trainee in any kind of financial institution is demeaning. Now, to be fair, I'd probably say in a lot of places where you have like trainees, like in media, it's like that as well. Like they have runners.
Yeah, that's true.
And all the runners have got to do all the demeaning shit.
It's true. Get the coffee, get the tea,
kind of stuff, so
go over to the thing and go and get my suit. I think it's that.
Any kind of industry where there's like an actual carrot that you can dangle. So like in the media, it's probably like, there is a big carrot that's dangled, but obviously it's a small amount of people can get that.
Yeah, the director and stuff
like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
those big pay and important roles. The majority of roles in that space are not very high paid. So, that's what would drive someone to just suck it up and get on with it, because they're chasing that. And it's the same in this industry as well, obviously. If you can get through the fire that you have to go through as a trainee and get through the other end and make a career for yourself, then you're in a great position. You just really set yourself up for life.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That hazing stuff is wild, and I'm glad that that's being phased out, man.
It's massively getting phased out now. Especially it's just because every corporation is super woke now, isn't it?
Yeah, mad woke.
So like, nicknames were like such a huge thing in this industry, but now it's like HR will be like, you're not allowed to give people nicknames, you're not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that. Obviously the juniors still have to go out and get everyone's lunch, just because it's the nature of the job. We can't get off the desk, we don't have lunch breaks. It's just literally someone brings you lunch, you have to eat it on your desk, because it's very sporadic and things happen randomly at random times. So you need to just always be there, because you don't know when something's going to happen, when someone's going to inquire to get a trade done. Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so BeardGang Members, at what point did that happen? What was the motivation?
So that wasn't my first business. I started a gymwear company back in 2015, and it's women's gymwear, and it's basically like us. It was during that time where the whole Instagram obviously first started, started in 2012. So Instagram had been around for a few years. And obviously I saw the influencer trend start taking off. And I thought to myself, so if I could just create a product and get someone famous to wear it, then I can make loads of sales.
Okay. Simple as that.
Simple, innit? And then at the time, obviously I was massively into the gym. A lot more so back then than I am now, because I don't have as much time. But I thought, okay, gymwear. I thought women's gymwear will be good to make, because they're obviously the ones that can that buy gym clothes. Because I thought, when I go to the gym, I don't even think about what I'm going to wear. I just wear whatever. Girls think about it. Yeah. And Gymshark had just started off as well at the time. Okay. Similar times, they just started to get a bit bigger. So I was like, let's do what they're doing. Spent what little money I had on getting the stock and the samples. It's so expensive, man. Like, you don't even realize.
How much was you putting onto it?
Like, it cost $5,000 just to get a sample.
What, like how many of 100 or?
No, one sample. Because I got one actual proper one made.
One product for $5,000. That don't make no sense.
But by the time I got the designs made, the toils, the labour, getting it done. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it costs a lot. But
cool.
Yeah, I started that, ran that for a little while, but I didn't realise, like, I didn't know anything about marketing back then. That was the issue. So I had the products, didn't know how to market them, and I didn't realise how much money needed to go into something to get it to grow. So I was like, okay, try to do it organically, and but it was just hard to do, and also progress in my career because I was still fairly junior at the time as well. You know what I mean? I was like young, so I just put that to the side, forgot about it, focused on my career, progressed in my career. And then when I got to the point where I had a lot more disposable money, I was like, right, I want to start another business. Didn't know what I wanted to do, but I wanted to start something else up.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was just listening to a podcast, and the guy just said, like, think of one thing that you would use every day that you don't have. And I was like, well, I don't have a beard oil. I don't have any beard products. Because at the time I was just growing my beard out, and I was looking for products to use. So it was like Boots or the supermarkets, but obviously all of the mainstream products are catered for like European hair. So I was trying different ones, and none of, like, they just all dried out my beard and my hair. Like, none of them helped. It just made it worse. So I ended up just using just coconut oil from the supermarket.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I was like, I don't have anything specific to use. So I was like, cool, let me do that. And then it was literally the end of 2019, so like November, December, I was like starting it up, and then it's really got going in the start of COVID, 2020.
Okay, that's when it blew up.
That's when, because obviously during that time, it was just a good time for e-commerce anyway, because everybody was at home.
Yeah.
Everybody's spending more time on social media.
Yeah.
So they're more susceptible to marketing.
Yeah.
Everyone just got COVID payments. So everyone's got a bit more money to splash out on. And, you know, so it was good. And that helped sort of fuel the growth of the brand. And I invested a lot at the beginning into understanding marketing. You know, I spent 10 grand on a marketing course.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a 3-month course. And it just covered everything: digital marketing, psychology behind marketing, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, like understanding the Facebook ads manager, right? Understanding how that works, understanding the metrics, understanding how to use it. Like, it's such an important thing to understand if you're running an e-commerce business, because it's such an important tool. But, you know, most people don't understand. I mean, most people don't even know there is an actual platform, like an ads manager platform. Do you know what I mean? Most people think it's just the boost button on Instagram. Yeah. You know, so understanding that is a big thing. And then, I had a sort of a vision and a plan of where I wanted to take it, and I just sort of went for it. Yeah.
Do you feel like that, like doing that course helped you massively?
Massively, yeah. But not only that, so I was actually running 2 courses concurrently. I was doing that, and also like more of a general business course, running a business, which came about because I went to a business conference when I first started the brand. So I hadn't even like started trading online or anything really at this point. And I went and set up like a stall at a business event put on by Cornerstone Partners, like a venture capital firm. Yeah. And they were basically having an accelerator day where they had like brands come on stage and pitch their brand in front of an auditorium of people. I like that. So I went on there, basically, like applied, got it, went on there. And it was great because we spent like the majority of the day in the morning on the stand, like selling products, speaking to all the people at the event. So by the time I went on stage, literally everybody knew me because I'd spoken to literally everybody there. There were no sort of independent black like men's grooming brands really at the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are a lot more popped up since, but no one was really doing it. So everybody at the event was just like, oh, this is new and interesting. Really good day there, sold a lot. And then by the time I got on stage, it was good. It felt familiar, and I pretty much just saying what I'd been saying to all the customers all throughout the day. Do you know what I mean? Just the same spiel. Yeah. Did the whole presentation. Didn't get the grand prize, which was investment, but they gave me a place on their business course. Okay, that's good though. Yeah. You got something out of it. Yeah, no, it's good. It's really good. That's crazy. How much did you, I guess, need to launch your first product? What was your first product? Like the hemp beard? It's just the one oil and the comb. Yeah, Sweet Mary J. That was the original.
That's what it was called.
Yeah,
I like that. That's a cool name. Yeah, Sweet Mary J. How much did you have to create a sample? I guess what was that process like? Like, was you creating a sample yourself? Did you get somebody else?
Yes.
Someone else to do it?
You know what it was? So where I was experimenting so much with oils by myself anyway. What I would do is I was getting different oils. I knew I wanted to use hemp oil, so I was just. But obviously, I didn't have the hemp oil. But I was just getting different types of oils that I would want in it, putting them together, seeing how it felt, and then contacted a manufacturer that sourced hemp seed oil. Got them to add it, sent it back to me, and then I just went through just a trial and error process, basically of this, and this. No, that doesn't feel right. This together. No, take some of this out, put more of this in. And then obviously, but they obviously give me like a framework that I can work within. And then once I got like the perfect blend, and I was like, yeah. And Sweet Mary J, the original oil, I literally designed it specifically for my beard. So anyone watching, if you got a thick beard like this, Sweet Mary J is what you need, because it's the main, like, it's incredible what it does. It really is. It has such a thick consistency, and I knew I wanted something that would be thick because my hair is so thick, and whenever I'd use an oil that was light in texture and consistency, my beard would just dry out very quickly. You know, the moisture would last for about a few hours, and then it's back to just feeling crispy again. So I needed something that was going to just sit on my beard and just absorb slowly throughout the day, and that's what Sweet Mary J does. So that's pretty much what I use most days. But then from then, I then developed variations of different oils that have the same effect, which surprised me, because I thought to achieve the level of moisture in my beard that I needed, I would need to use a thick oil. But just like the skin cream, what I wanted was something that was also lightweight that would have the same effect. So I went through that process again and again, found the right combinations, and I managed to recreate it with Caribbean Dream and Coconut Gold. And they're both lightweight oils, but it has the same level of moisture and absorption as Sweet Mary J. It's crazy.
That's crazy. I love it. I love the way you talk with passion about your
honestly, it's because I was solving problems that I had. You know? So it was just nice to see that the problems that I had, other people also had the same issues, and I was able to solve their issues as well.
How many products in total do you know that you've sold yourself?
Probably around 40 to 50,000.
That's a lot of products.
Units,
that you've moved. Wow. That's impressive. And do you feel like you talked a lot?
It's probably a bit more.
It's a bit more than that. That's a lot of product. And you talked about marketing, right? As well. Like, I guess, how did you get to that level of growth, do you feel?
Well, the thing is, like, having a great career and being able to, you know, earn good money, that helps massively. And I say this to anybody that's starting a business, is, you know, you got to make sure that you have sufficient income to be able to fund your business, because businesses don't grow for free. You know, some do, you know, if you've got like the right kind of, you know, hype within that teen space or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you can make something viral in that space, and their kids will just carry it for you, like as you see with like Cortez. But for the majority of people starting brands, it don't happen like that. Do you know what I mean? And those cases are very rare where you can get that cult following, but that sort of only originates with the youth. So, you know, if you can do it that way somehow, great. But for the majority of people that are going to start up a business, you need to have funding. So whether you need to be funding it through personal income or seeking investment from elsewhere, but you need to fund it somehow. So to get it off the ground, obviously I injected a lot of capital into the business in terms of marketing to get it off the ground. But then the beauty of it was that, you know, I was running the business bootstrapped. So, you know, I've put in an initial amount to get it going. But what was great at the time was that I was spending a lot, but the money was coming back. So
spending to get back.
I was able just to keep spending, you know, because it just kept coming back. And that was good because, you know, when you're trying to grow a business very quickly, you're going to encounter losses, right? So it's like, you know, I don't mind spending 100 grand, making 95, if it means that that's then going to lead to long-term customer value in year 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you know what I mean? So for me, my initial outset was just spend big initially, pay to acquire customers. That's essentially what you're doing with ads, right? You're paying to acquire customers. I was like, I want to pay to acquire as many customers as I can. Hopefully, it doesn't bankrupt me doing so. But the main thing is getting my product in as many homes as possible. That was my goal from the outset. Get it in as many homes as possible. Let as many people try it as possible, because I have so much confidence in the products that I know that once you use it once and you get into a routine using it, you're coming back for more.
Yeah, and that's it. It's about getting a routine.
You're going to be a subscriber.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's one of those things. So many guys don't have like a grooming routine, right? Like a majority of men kind of just get up, shower.
Yeah, I don't.
Exactly. Just go.
That's it.
Leave it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But like when you get into a consistent routine and you actually see like a benefit, you know, like the condition of your beard is like much healthier, it's softer, it's shinier. People are complimenting your beard. Girls are saying, "Oh, your beard looks nice." Yeah. Best believe you're going to keep up that routine, you know. And when the oil's running low, you're thinking, stress. My dad, like, he'll call me up and he'll just be stressing out because he's run out of oil. He's like, I don't know what to do. Like, he says he feels naked now without it, and he's someone that never used to look after his beard. He never even grew a beard purely because of that reason. He was always someone that was clean shaven, and he only grew a beard when I started BeardGang. And then he got into a routine. Now it's just like, you know, once you get into that routine and you're using it,
I love that.
You can't stop.
I love that. And that's the thing, is about trying to get people into that routine, because like you said, they're just there.
Exactly. I'd say the biggest campaign that made the greatest impact was the TFL campaign that I had in 2021. And that for me was just a way I knew that I wanted to separate, because I saw like a load of new brands starting up, trying it as well. So I thought, let me separate myself from those other online brands and make people think that, you know, this is actually a real tangible business, not just like some quick startup thing that's just, you know, popped up 2 seconds ago. Because, you know, generally speaking, when people see adverts on buses or on like underground, they think it's a established.
Oh, you actually did an actual advert?
Yeah, so I had 60 buses, and my ad was running on 60 buses, and that like went on for about 7 months.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was literally supposed to be, and I timed it to perfection as well. Like this was just one of those things where it was just like a blessing, because I found out who I needed to contact. I was in talks with them for a while, and they were quoting me like 75 grand, right, for 60 buses for a month. Yeah. I was like, cool, safe. And then it was only like, as COVID was like got deeper and deeper, and lockdowns were like extended, contacted them again, and they were like, yeah, we can, you know, we reduced the prices now, and they quoted me 25 grand, and I was like, okay. So I just left it there for a while, and then I waited until like I could kind of sense that we were going to come out of lockdown, and then I fired them back up again. I was like, is that quote still good? They were like, yeah. Like, cool. And I waited, and then they contacted me saying, like, you need to sign on this contract, or with the prices, you know, subject to change. And I feel like they probably could sense that we were going to be coming out of lockdown soon as well, so activity will pick up. So yeah, locked it in, and then literally the next day, Boris announced that lockdown restrictions were ending.
Mad.
And obviously everybody was back outside, like busier than ever. Do you know what I mean? And I just had these buses just all through Central, just like one after the other. And especially at the time, obviously majority of businesses pulled back from outdoor marketing. So obviously a lot of buses were empty. So there were not many adverts floating about. Do you know what I mean? But my one was. So
that is amazing.
That had a huge impact on the brand.
Wow. I love stuff like
and
that.
Brand perception.
I love stuff like that.
And then from there, I've just now like focused on like billboards in key locations, you know, because, you know, it builds brand loyalty, brand trust. And when people see it in real life, it's a different kind of connection than when it's online, you know.
Yeah.
In a digital era, you can't discount the old school ways of doing things. And, you know, like brick and mortar, billboards, those kind of things that you know, that's people have been doing that from the beginning of time.
Yeah. So, I love that, man. I love that. I love stories like that. So you talked about like, you know, expanding into music. I saw expansion into clothing. What was the reason for like saying, okay, cool, I'm now doing good on the product side, I'm now gonna expand into like starting my own record label?
So my granddad was actually a massive influence. He started he ran a record label for the majority of his life. Mm-hmm. He actually produced one of Dennis Brown's albums on his label.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was actually him like talking me through that whole side of things. And he had like showing me the plumbing behind like royalties, this, that, and the other, etc. And it just something sparked in my head, and I was like, I want to try and get involved in music, but didn't really have a direction on it. And it was only when my boy went to jail, and I was like, something just twigged in my head, and I was like, hold on a minute, like this ain't right. He's an extremely talented rapper. He should not be in there. As soon as he comes out, we're doing this. And I called him when he was in prison, and I said to him, bro, like you need something like legitimate and constructive to do when you come out. Otherwise, you're gonna end up in there again. You don't want that, right? So I was like, look, this is, because he was in jail the whole time I started BeardGang, so he didn't really know what was going. He didn't know anything about it. Imagine the first time he found out about my brand was from reading the GQ mag in his cell.
That's crazy.
Because I managed to get it on GQ like pretty early in the first 6 months. And I had like consistent run over like 6 or 7 different magazine covers.
Wow.
And yeah, he saw it in there, and he was like, okay, yeah, all right, I see what you're doing, say no more. He came out, hit the studio, and we just ain't stopped since, really.
That's insane.
We ain't stopped. Yeah.
Mad. So how many artists have you got on?
It's just A1 Rico.
Okay, so one album out yet?
No, so we literally started March last year.
Okay, so you started last year. How you find it?
And it's been incredible, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, we've made so much music. Our catalogue is so deep.
Yeah.
So deep. Like we've got about 3 or 4 mixtapes worth of songs.
Okay.
Like ready to go.
Cool.
You know, and
I love the sound of that.
And every song that we've released so far has been received very well.
Okay.
Very well. And, you know, for me, it was about, especially coming into the music game in your late 20s, like, you know, marketing and perception is such a big thing, you know. So it's like, for me, it was more of how do I enter him into a scene and make people believe that he is a dope rapper. Now, they're going to hear it, they're going to see it, but like, they also need to believe it, because especially in today's generation, like people, like they only believe something's good when they're told that it's good.
Yeah. 100%. And everybody's talking about it.
Oh, have you heard about this?
Everyone's talking about it. Exactly. That's the only time people,
okay, cool.
So, you know, like, and a lot of the time, so you know, a lot of rappers will blow up because of clout, right? And events that happen, and they'll capitalize on it. For example, you look at Heady One, he was very much underground rapper until that whole uni incident in 2018. And then he released No Better off the back of that, and the song blew up. Do you know what I mean? But that was all based around drama, based around beef, this, that, and the other. So there was a whole entertainment factor behind it, which fueled that growth. Whereas like, when you're just bringing an artist into the scene that nobody's heard of, no one knows, there's no backstory, there's nothing, you're not affiliated to no gangs. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's very difficult. So I had to really kind of like think of it as like, what would a big label do? And I've just kind of tried to follow the same kind of paths that they would take to create an artist. Yeah. You know, because like an artist is a brand essentially. So you're creating a brand, which is a human being. Yeah. Based around the sound that he's producing, you know. So it obviously it massively helps that he's incredibly talented and the music is ridiculously good. And he doesn't know how to make a bad song.
Okay, I love that.
And his talent level is increasing like at a rapid rate. Like it's scary, man. Like I'm in the booth with him, and I'm literally like, I'm genuinely witnessing greatness, like live and direct, because he's insane. When we first started, obviously, like he would come prepared with like his bars written, knock it out, cool. But over time, he's now developed the skill to just go in the booth and just freestyle the whole thing. Yeah. And the last 2 songs, actually no, the last tune we dropped, Done by Noon, that was a complete freestyle. And then since then, we've recorded about 3 or 4 more songs. Wow. Just exactly the same way, just in the booth, in there together, just vibes in with the beat, and like I'm there thinking as well, like trying to think of like bars, and then he just comes out with something. I'm like, raw. Yeah.
Man, I love that. Like, creativity.
I didn't see that coming. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, cause like I'll be thinking, you know, he might start it off, and I'm thinking like along his rhyming pattern, and then in my head I'm thinking he should be like following it up in the same pattern, but then he'll just change the direction, switch the flow, and switch the rhyming pattern, and you don't even see it coming. It's incredible, man.
That's a great musician.
It's scary.
And I think what's so good about it is that you're at a time where like you can be a bit more independent. You got the YouTube, you got the TikToks, you got the Instagram where you can like become viral.
Like, so like all record labels are, record labels are just banks with connections. Yeah. That's all they are. Yeah. And then they've got, you know, teams of people that specialize in certain areas to create the product, which is the music. So you can very much do that yourself. Yeah. But you just need the money. Yeah. And the connections. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, I hand like all the marketing, designs, all that kind of stuff. Like, I can handle all of that, you know. But then, obviously, the money side of things, that's when things get a bit more tricky, because making music is not cheap.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's definitely
a high quality one as well.
It's definitely pay to play.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, just the process, getting music videos done. Booking stuff, locations, paying this, that, like it really adds up. It is mad. Yeah. And I didn't even know how expensive it would be when I started into it, until I got into it. And now you're deep into it. Yeah. It's like, you know, you want to create something great. Like every project, you want to create the best products you can make. So naturally you're going to spend as much as you possibly can to create each thing. So yeah, it does add up. It does add up.
That's crazy.
So that's why for now I'm just like, because I've got so many other artists that are knocking on the door, because they've seen what I'm doing with Rico, and you know, going from a standing still position to, you know, having numerous radio DJs play our songs on the radio, you know, show love, get invited to shows, you know, in Barcelona, performed on New Year's Eve. We just went to Finland last month.
Wow.
You know, recorded 2 music videos out there. He had a podcast appearance for like a music podcast out there, and performed as well. So
that's amazing.
Like, we're making a lot of good progress. You know, Spotify monthly listeners, you know, we've got a good listener base. Yeah. Like, that's growing at a really good rate. So yeah, like people are really locked into our music. And because of the quality is so high. But it's just like, you know, that one spark that just gets everyone talking. And a lot of the time, that one spark that gets everyone talking for an artist is not even about the music. You know, it might be like a whole outside separate situation that gets everyone talking about them. Yeah. Then they go and pay attention to the music. Yeah. You know, it's backwards. It's so backwards, because you just think, right, you just make good music, everyone's going to want to listen. But people, again, like I said before, need to be given a reason to listen to you. Yeah. So whether it's because someone else is saying it that's reputable or whatever. That's why like, I do a lot of marketing with the blogs, right? Because if the blog has presence and people will, you know, respect what the admin is saying in the captions, then that gives them at least a reason to listen and check you out. Yeah. And then, you know, from there it's down to the music and the visuals to captivate them. Yeah. But yeah, it's tough, but man, I love it though. It's enjoyable.
I love that. And like I said, you're definitely doing it at a right time. I guess, what's the overall vision for like what you're doing now with Rico? What are you trying to get to with him?
Trying to take him to the top.
to the top, yeah.
The very top.
With Central Cee, Stormzy and that, and Dave.
Honestly, he's a better rapper than them.
And but that's the thing about the music industry, though.
Dave,
it's not about
Dave. I'll put
Dave is good, yeah.
Put Dave in his own pocket, he's up there.
Okay,
he's up there. He's legitimately up there with the likes of Dave, Potter Paper, Young's Tef.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're the rappers that I'd put in his category. Genuinely. He's that good, but again, no one knows him.
Yeah.
So you try and tell people, they say well, who is he? Who are you? You only been around for
credibility, innit?
No credibility.
Yeah.
We ain't got the credibility yet. So, but that comes with time, that comes with consistency, that comes with, consistently put out good projects, good music. Eventually people have to pay attention. They have to listen, you knock on the door long enough and consistently enough, then they have to take you in. That's how we're playing it right now. We've got enough music to do it though. That's the thing, we recorded so much and we're still recording. Every time we go to the studio, he comes out with another 1 or 2 tracks, fire as well. So
keep it pushing.
For every one song we put out, by the time we want to put out the next one, we've already made 5 or 6.
Wow.
So, we've got the ammo.
Okay.
We've got the ammo. We're going to just keep pumping music out there and just keep getting the sound out there. And, we're already starting to get, our props. We've only released 7 songs. So,
wow,
things are looking good.
I love that. So I had this question, right? Because selling products as well is tough, right? Making and selling it. So if someone, I guess, wanted to set up a product business today in 2023 and wanted to grow it to about 6-7 figures, what would your advice to them be?
Don't. Don't. Honestly, if you're prepared to not have a life, to be stressed all the time, fine, but honestly, just don't bother. Genuinely, bro. When I first started the business, right, and I was trying to I was doing all the distribution myself. I'm getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, packaging everyone's products up, putting them all in the big Royal Mail sack, carrying that into work. Everyone's looking at me laughing, what's this guy doing? Yeah, I'm walking across the trading floor, a massive sack like Santa Claus. And then going out to the post office, doing that every day. Are you sure? That's honestly, because it's a side to starting a business that people don't understand. They think that it's glitz and glamour, and it's I'm a CEO, I'm an entrepreneur. Just start a business, just start selling products. You can just start a business, start selling products, but if you actually want to do it properly, it's going to cost you a lot of time. It's going to cause you a lot of stress. You're going to run into a lot of issues that average person just going to their job and going home, they're not encountering. I've had crazy issues with warehouse losing stock. My distribution center once lost all of my beard washes. I had sold loads and I was hold a minute. People are telling me they're not getting it, these in their bundle orders. They lost 700 units. Where is it? Vanished, apparently. Disappeared. And then now I'm in a whole beef with them for months. It's over compensation. I've got angry customers. I'm missing out. It's do you know what I mean? And when you're doing that all within the constraints of trying to live, actually enjoy life, work, and then sorting out all that kind of shit, bro, it's horrid.
So the advice today is don't start an e-commerce business unless you really want to.
Exactly. Unless you're truly passionate about the products you're making, your mission. It can't just be about, I want to start a business because I want to make money. The business and what you're making, you should have some kind of passion for, because it's only through having a passion for it that you'll be able to endure the shit that comes with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just going to quit at the first hurdle. And then what's the point? At that point, you just wasted money.
Yeah. Facts.
So, only start something that you're really passionate about. Even the music, bro. I've spent mad peas on this music stuff over the course of the year and a bit. Mad peas. Music is so expensive. And it's okay, we're getting money from streaming coming in, but we're not at that point yet to start making real money from it. Do you know what I mean? We're still in that building phase. So when you're in that phase where you're trying to build to get to the point where you can make, like you're withstanding a lot of financial pressure. So you can only really withstand that and sacrifice not buying yourself nice things, not doing nice things that you want to do, this, that, and the other, and funding something else if you're truly passionate about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, my advice would be only start a business if you are truly, truly passionate about it. Otherwise, don't bother.
I love that. Thank you, Adam. So what you got planned next for yourself?
Do you know what? So like, even with my career, like I'm focusing on that massively. I enjoy my job. It genuinely is a really good job. Can't complain. The hours are a bit long, 7 till 5, but apart from that, it's a great industry to work in. It's a great place. The place where I work is a great place to work. And it's like what I have to do for the money. It's like cool. It makes so much sense because the effort required, like I've been doing it for a long time, so I'm very experienced, and doing it is literally like I can do it in my sleep.
Yeah.
It's like I'm on autopilot. But getting to that point, it's just like, wow, this is so easy. And then the money you make from it, because we're dealing with such large transactions, like everything's just bigger, Yeah. Like, everything's based on like commission. But because we're dealing large transactions, we're trading millions and billions at a time.
Yeah.
So it's just like the commissions are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Mad. Yeah. Work-wise, I'm looking, like I'm really happy in my career right now, so I'm looking to double down on that, focus on that, and doing so should then also improve everything else.
Okay.
Because with more income, then you can create more.
Yeah.
It's just I can have more to spend on myself and projects that I want to do. Like most of my marketing budget for BeardGang goes into the music, to be honest.
Okay.
I rarely market BeardGang anymore.
Yeah.
Majority of sales that I get now is all, word of mouth, billboards, subscribers, etc. So that ticks over quite nicely, and I just have run retargeting ads and whatnot, and I'll do a few things on blogs, and I'm investing more into the marketing for BeardGang, but it's more of a long-term strategic plan rather than like the short-term, gets ads out, this, that, and the other. Music is sort of my main focus, but with the brand as a whole, my vision for BGM is basically it's the one-stop shop for all of your needs as a man, right? Okay. So deep it. You wake up in the morning, you get in the shower, the first thing you use is, I'm developing a body wash at the moment, right? So that's the next product to come out. I might give it a quirky name, I'm not sure. But yeah, BGM body wash for now. Currently working on that, and that should come out soon. So yeah, body wash. Beard wash is there anyway. So you use the beard wash. You come out of the shower, it's time to get dressed. Okay. You cream yourself using BGM skin cream.
Okay.
You then get dressed into the BGM tracksuit, all while listening to BGM music. Okay.
Wow. You've got a lot of vision.
So I want to cover all the aspects of people's lives, So I'm touching, me to go out like brand touch points. I want to touch different areas of your life, encompass it. So it's a one-stop shop. And then, eventually have shops.
Okay. Wow. Looking forward to that, man.
That is the end game.
Wow.
Brick and mortar.
Looking forward to that, man. Sounds amazing, man. And we'll get you back on to talk about how you're progressing with that. Where can people find you?
So you'll find all BGM content on BeardGang Members, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter is BeardGang Member, and then the record label BGM Records, BGM World, the clothing, and most importantly, you need to follow A1 Rico. Run it up Reeks on Insta and
love that.
All socials. Run it up Reeks.
Love that. Thank you so much, Adam. You're doing so much, man, in life. I'm like, rah, it's crazy, man. You're a hustler, man.
Yeah,
for real.
It's just
you're doing it.
Got 24 hours in a day. Try and use as much of it as you can productively.
I love that, and I love that you're what you're doing is you've got your 9 to 5, and then you're feeding 7 to 5. 7 to 5, should I say? No, 9 to 5. 7 to 5. Sorry, let me correct myself. 7 to 5, and then you're using that to feed into like your other ventures, which I think is super cool, and makes a lot of sense. I think more people should try to stay in their jobs. I always say this, like, try and stay in your jobs as long as you can. If you can stay there for a while and then your business grows naturally and then you're like, okay, cool, I can stay in the job or I can leave it. You know, I mean, like, if you think of somebody like Elon Musk, he's got like, what, 2, 3, 4 businesses. He's still employed for even though it's his business, you're got to be employed to some aspect. So yeah, no, it's been great. It's been great hearing your story and, you know, seeing the growth and where you've gotten to. I think it's been really inspiring. Do you have any like final words for the watchers and listeners?
If you're trying to start a business, only do it if you're passionate about it, because it will cost you a lot of your sanity and your time, but also very rewarding. So pursue it if you're passionate. If you're trying to get your beard right, then you need to be using the BGM bundle every day. You need to use the beard wash, oil, balm, comb every day. And yeah, with consistent use, you'll see the results over time.
Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you, watchers and listeners, for tuning into this episode of Take Off Experience, and we'll see you next week's episode.